In today's segment on LIFSKL, I'd like to delve a little bit into communication, and specifically the act of listening. We all know what listening is, but defined a little bit further, listening is differentiated between active and passive listening. Active listening is what you would expect. You are actively involved in a conversation, you are engaged with the individual or people that you are speaking to, and hopefully listening attentively to. Passive is something that I think we're all guilty of at times when we're not engaged, where we're thinking about something else, we're looking at something else. Imagine, for example, a situation where someone's talking to you and you're reading a book or looking at a screen or just not there, like you're making eye contact, which we often tend to do and want to do to perceive or show that we are listening, but maybe our head has a bunch of thoughts in it that are coming in and out and we're somewhere else, that previous conversation, looking forward to something else, even though we are present in front of a group or someone in front of you. So that's the what around listening, active or passive listening. There's a saying out there that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use that proportionately. And I like that one because we don't often think of it that way. We tend to talk a lot. We interrupt people as they're speaking. We want to complete their sentences. And I see this time and time again. Not to say that I'm great at it, but I've become more aware of it over time, which is why I'm sharing it. So the act of listening, being engaged, is a very important one. And it matters because it shows the individual we're speaking to that we are there, we are present, we are for them. When we talk about relationships, which is a whole other section in itself, one of the things that I tout, and it's well documented, is relationships is about connecting with some other individual, finding a way to help them, they in turn help you, and that forms a good relationship. And that is the basis often of great networking as well. So the act of listening is very important. If you have a partner, you have a child, you have a parent, we all do. We are hopefully having active conversations with them. And in all honesty, some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life have been those where I have not said much. I'm just listening. A personal story along those lines is, one of my fondest memories of my father is of weekend mornings where I would be essentially half asleep in my bedroom. He would come in and he would have a lot of knowledge to share. And he would share stories of his past, of growing up in India, in Iran, what the times were like. And honestly, I was just waking up. I was still technically half asleep, but I was listening. I didn't say much. I didn't ask many questions, to be honest. But I look fondly back at that time because I was engaging in the act of listening and just hearing his voice and share his stories and knowing that was joy for him to share that information. And so to me, that was great. And I didn't say anything. And if I fast forward to present day, listening to my own girls talk, to my wife speak about her day, how things went, what sucked, what was really engaging. We do this thing called flower bud thorn, which you may be familiar with, where you highlight your flower, something that was really great about the day. Your bud, something you're looking forward to, and your thorn, something that didn't really go so well. But it's great to talk about it. That's a periodic conversation we have, typically around the dining table or any table where we're having a meal, especially in the evening, which we try to do. And that's one of my favorite parts of the day. And it's really just myself listening. And our girls have adopted that as well. They actually bring it up themselves. And I think they are starting to get that as well. So if that's a little bit of a how, that's where you can take this forward. How you can take it forward is engage in the act of listening. When you're with someone, be present, be active, really ask them questions that lead to better, thoughtful responses. How did that make you feel? Why did you like to do that? Those sort of open-ended questions. That is the act of listening. And thank you for the opportunity to listen to me about this.